Hi everyone, we're coming at you from Rifle High School. We're the Rifle High School cheer squad and you're watching Friday Night Frenzy.
It's Friday Night Frenzy.
Ah, boy. Welcome back, sports fans. Mike Kretz here alongside Jocelyn Stafford and Antonio Clark for the Week 1 edition of Friday Night Frenzy. Jocelyn, ladies first, how you feeling about bringing Western Slope football to the people?
Definitely, Mike. Well, I've been waiting all summer for Frenzy, and now that it's here, I am thrilled to be a part of this sports team, bringing all of our viewers all the football action.
All right, also joining us is Antonio Clark, a member of CMU's all-decade team, a Thomas Jefferson grad. He knows a thing or two about Western Slope football. Antonio, welcome to the Frenzy.
Mike, Jocelyn, I'm honored and excited to be here. I'm looking forward to highlighting all of the athletes of the Western Slope this year.
All right, let's do it. Let's kick things off at Stoker, a doubleheader here tonight. That's where you could find our Jocelyn Stafford. Joss, what do you got?
That's right, Mike. Kicking off this Frenzy with matchup number 1 between the familiar Grand Junction Tigers facing off a team from the other side of the mountain, the Coronado Cougars. Now, these two teams have not played each other in recent seasons. Heading into this game, no one knows what to expect. Let's get right to the action. The Cougars get first possession, but don't hold on to that ball for long. With a short pass to Dylan Jardin, he loses control. Everyone falling like dominoes diving for that ball, but it would eventually be recovered by Junction and called a Tigers first down. But no worries for Coronado. After 4 downs, they are back at it. Quarterback Jaden Rempel showing off that arm, going for the 40-yard pass. Braden Payton's Prettyman's coverage not enough as Realty Smith makes the completion to get to the 35. Now inside the 20, the Cougars go for it on the 4th down, and this is going to pay off as Ross Woods goes for it straight up the middle. But when Coronado is within 10 of the end zone, Grand Junction's defense holds them back, taking possession on the 4-yard line. But neither team can really catch a break. Javier Andujo trying to run with it. He gets pulled down in the end zone while the Cougars recover the ball. The refs ultimately call this one a safety, 2-0 Coronado. And from there, all we see is red and white. In the second quarter, the dynamic duo is back at it. Rempel once again sending this one down the sidelines to Smith. It's complete, and the refs say this one is out of bounds at the 17. The Cougars eventually make it to the end zone with help from Woods, who goes right through the gap for the TD. Coronado now up 9-0. The Tigers kept fighting to get back onto that scoreboard, but the Cougars had too many breakout plays to keep up with. Now looking at your final there, the Cougars take their first big win of the season with a final of 36-7. Now over to Mike with some action from Rifle.
Oh boy, thank you, Jocelyn. Let's talk about this really juicy matchup, Rifle and Palisade. The Bulldogs making the trek out to Bear Country, home of the 21 Spring State champions. And Rifle begin their championship defense against a tough 3A challenge. Let's get out there right now. A great night for football in Rifle. Bears start with the ball, and the Bulldogs are ready to show off that defense. Swarming everything, holds the Bears, force a punt. And the theme du jour is quickly going to become who's ready to get hit and hit. Watch that far sideline. Return man is going to get crunched. But Pally's starting the ball with great position inside the 40. Here comes that patented triple option that the Bulldogs run so well. Malachi Espinoza ready to run it with a fake handoff. Picks up big yards later. Going to find that edge. Nice blocking. Espinoza having no problems early. Gets another first down, setting up a 1st and goal. And now it's time to make that handoff here to Rhett Ward. Hits a little bit of a wall, but gets in there. Bulldogs strike first. Falls short on the 2-pointer, though. It's 6-0. Rifle's second drive. The Bears start to show their teeth here. Trey Caldwell rolls right while he's getting hit, finds a receiver. Now the Bears, they're moving the chains, and they're going to get it going in the backfield, too. Here's Toto Fletcher picking up some hard-fought yards on the ground, but again, the Bulldogs able to stall out the drive. Nice job from Trey hitting on the tackle. The Bulldogs turn with the ball, but here comes Rifle. Watch the penetration. Espinoza able to escape one, but there's a whole lot of Bears in the backfield. Bears force a punt in the second quarter. They're going to go back to that passing game. This is a really nice throw and catch. Caldwell buys his receiver an extra step or two, and that's big because now he's open downfield. Brock Caldwell, too. They should have a good rapport. A really nice play right there. A nice touchdown-saving tackle. You think the Bears have the momentum now? Here, using the pitch game, moving the ball, 2nd and 6. You get near that end zone. Sometimes making throws like this isn't hard to do, but oh man, it turns into a almost Pally interception. 3rd down, time to go back to the run game, but it gets completely gunked up by the Bulldogs defense. Not a hard decision going for the field goal to half that 6-point lead. Javier Diaz would go on to connect, making it 6-3 Bulldogs when we had to hit the road. And I think it's fair to say this is surprising. That was Rifle's only score of the game. Pally goes on to win a huge season opener against the Spring 21 state champions. 35-3 is your final. Antonio, take us to Delta.
Delta, home of the Panthers and a perennial state title contender. But with the loss of star quarterback Nolan Bynum and a slew of other standouts due to graduation, will the Panthers continue their upward trend? Let's get out to Panther Stadium and see how they fared. Summit will win the toss and elect to receive. Delta coming out looking real excited in the all blacks. First drive of the game here. Summit, they're going to start deep in their own territory. We're going to get a fly motion sweep to Aiden Collins, but he's going to be stopped dead in his tracks by senior Timmy Horn. The Panthers would stymie the Tigers the rest of that drive, forcing a punt, getting their offense on the field. And who would the Panthers start off with? Timmy Horn once again. He's going to take this carry right up the middle and grind out some tough yards to start things off. Later in Horn, he's going to be back at it again, this time starting off would-be tacklers in the backfield. Then we move on. We're going to get a pitch to Issei Carrillo, who takes it up the sideline, getting the Panthers into scoring territory. He's going to get a stretch play here, squirt through the defenders, extend, and that's going to be the first touchdown of the Panthers on this early 21 season. They're up 7-0 now. Summit back on offense, looking to respond. John Shearholtz on the design QB run is going to deliver a mean stiff arm, but come up just short of the first down. Connor Workman was on the receiving end of that stiff arm, and he's not going to forget it. Just a play later, he's going to come up with the big stop, form tackle in the backfield for a loss. That's a great play right there, setting the edge for the Panthers defense. Moving on, they can't get it going on the ground, so they're going to go through the air. We get a bootleg, and who's there? Timmy Horn to deliver the bone-crushing hit. That receiver, he would be on the ground and come out of the game after suffering a major hit to that rib area. But moving forward, we're going to get another pass here. It's going to go off the receiver's hands, off a defender's face mask, and into the horns of the Rifle safety, Alex Ward. Great awareness by Ward coming up with the big INT. Moving to the second quarter, and Delta once again finds themselves in the red zone. We're going to get Nathan Scarnhorst. He's going to keep it this time, going right behind the big bullies and getting into the end zone. Now, when I left, Delta was up 14-0, but they would go on to win 27-0 and get that shutout. Big win for the Panthers and a clear message to the rest of the state that they will contend once again.
Yes, they will. Hey, don't go anywhere. We've got more Friday Night Frenzy coming up right after this.